Hi everyone, I'm here with Wednesday the Frog to give you some tips for caring with White's tree frogs. So, tip number 1. So feeding White's tree frogs, I find it easiest to give Wednesday crickets, but there are other foods like tree frogs. Well, White's tree frogs can also eat roaches on occasion. I've heard of people feeding them pinky mice, which I wouldn't recommend. They can eat hornworms for a snack. Wednesday will not eat hornworms, she's picky, but White's tree frogs can eat hornworms for a snack. They can also very occasionally eat mealworms. It's not recommended to give your White's tree frog superworms. I do on occasion give her superworms, just very occasionally, but I'd be very careful if you want to give your White's tree frog superworms, just because they have large pinchers that can harm your White's tree frog. So if you're going to give them superworms, I would recommend either removing the head of the superworm or crushing them. But superworms and mealworms don't actually have a lot of nutrition at all. So I would recommend feeding them mainly crickets, because they're very easy to find at a pet store, and I would recommend dusting them with Reptivite, which I've shown in previous videos. So tip number 2 for caring for White's tree frogs: wear gloves or have insanely clean hands, because amphibians such as White's tree frogs, such as Wednesday, absorb nutrients through their skin. So if you have any chemicals, anything on your skin, she's going to absorb that right up. So I would definitely recommend wearing gloves like I'm wearing right now. Okay, so tip number 5. The minimum for one White's tree frog is a 10-gallon tank. I have a bioactive aquarium or terrarium, so I don't really have to clean that too often. But the recommended is actually 20 gallons. That's for 2 White's tree frogs. I have the very minimum for one Wednesday, which is 10 gallons. Okay, so next tip, always provide fresh water for your White's tree frogs. It's very important for them to stay moist, just because they're an amphibian, so that's a pretty easy tip. Have a nice big water bowl. Okay, next tip, the next tip is to keep adult White's tree frogs at around 75 degrees Fahrenheit. She's very happy today. So around 75 degrees Fahrenheit is a good temperature for White's tree frogs. It can go up to 80, and at night you can let it drop down into the 60s, but it's recommended for 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Next tip, so the humidity differs between babies and adults, but since Wednesday is about an adult, I would say her humidity should be above 50. So 50 to 60 would probably be the best humidity for her. For Wednesday as a White's tree frog. And the final tip, final tip is don't handle them too much, if at all. So I'm handling her right now just to show you guys what she looks like as a White's tree frog. And usually if you're going to handle them, do it with gloves, as I said before, and usually they'll just chill out on you because they're very sleepy during the day. But she seems to be in kind of a happy mood right now. It's around 80 degrees outside today, so I took her out and decided to make a video to show you guys. So those are some care tips for white tree frogs, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you!